Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This video for Thursday, April 28th, 2011 is sponsored by Realtic. All right, folks, let's get right into the mix here as the markets are going choppy to sideways today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 35 points, NASDAQ is down 6, and the S&P 500 is up about 1 point on the day. We've seen some wild trading in the dollar today, some wild trading in individual stocks. It's actually been a very, very good scalping morning in the intraday stock chat. And do not forget, folks, there is a free trial 1 week for the intraday stock chat and the Research Center. Research Center's been rocking it. Intraday stock chat has been as well. Try us out for 1 week free. Now, as you can see on the spiders, the market gapped slightly lower. We initially moved right to that double top perfectly, pulled back, made a new high, but never confirmed above yesterday's double top. Therefore, you expect a reversal. The reversal does come through to the 20. We consolidate, retest that level again, and pull back again. And it just seems like it's going choppy. See how it's just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down kind of activity. I do expect that to be mostly the case for the rest of the day, although as volume is getting lighter and lighter this afternoon, you may see a little bit more of a float to the upside, and it's possible we may go back to the highs of the day, maybe even a little bit higher. All right, now a couple little odds and ends here first off to talk about. Number one, we have to go to the dollar. The dollar initially flushed out to the downside in the first 30 minutes, triggering my level that I gave to the Research Center yesterday. I gave them $20.95. It went to $20.92, triggering that level, and from that point on, the dollar went all the way back, turning to the positive side by a penny. At this point, once it turns positive, you know the good old Federal Reserve is coming out saying, no, that's no good because we're going to see some selling in the market if the dollar starts to go up. So let's push the dollar back down. The dollar has fallen back down, and that's kept the market floating sideways. And sure enough, the dollar's come back in a little bit, not back to the lows yet, but just in a little bit. And I do believe the dollar has a little bit of support here at this current level, just under the even number of 21. With weakness in the dollar early on, we saw silver spiking dramatically higher. I mean, it was unbelievable. After the reversal yesterday, and you can see all the lines that I've drawn on the charts, but nonetheless, after the major reversal yesterday we saw in the Federal Reserve announcement, silver spiked even higher, going up over $1. We saw a high pivot on the SLV today of $48.35. Then silver collapsed. All right, so silver a high of 48.35, then it collapses all the way down to the 200 moving average, and that was a negative. It was down about 50 cents at that point, and the SLV has now recovered to be up 30 cents. I mean, the trading here in this commodity is one of the wildest things in any commodity I have ever seen. I mean, the moves are huge. You're talking about percentage point moves in a commodity up and down intraday. Intraday, folks. You didn't even see this in oil. Even going back to the 2007, 2008 highs in oil, you did not see these type of moves. Not intraday anyways. In any case, market again, we can see the silver trade moving back up. You should have some resistance on the intraday SLV chart here. And again, I'm using my Realtic software today, as I always do. Classic, amazing software. Now, let's go to the GLD. GLD is kind of a little bit more on the quieter side, and that's the way the GLD's been, to be honest. You've seen it much quieter. Yes, it had a big move yesterday, but believe it or not, dollar-wise, the GLD was up less than silver dollar-wise. And remember, the SLV, which again, we saw gold up on the GLD dollar-wise less. So the silver trade, percentage-wise, just think about that. The SLV is 1/3 or less than the GLD. It just shows you how much more silver's been moving of late to the upside, especially. And if you go to the daily chart here, take a look. I mean, yeah, it's been a nice move on gold here. This is the GLD again, from a low of about 128 to about a high of 150 here. In fact, the high of the day today was 150. But look at the SLV. I mean, it's night and day here. Way different. Percentage-wise, this is basically a 80+% move from the lows of really right around February, the beginning of February on the SLV to the highs currently. And again, 80% move in a commodity in about 3 months. It's actually a little less than 3 months. Silver's had a big move. Gold's had a big move too, but it hasn't been percentage-wise as much. If you calculate the percentage of 128 to 150, it's actually a lot less than 80%. I'll tell you that much. All right. Going back again, the dollar weakness is something the Fed wants. Yesterday, I thought it was very important. We saw the Federal Reserve announcing their interest rate policy, and Ben Bernanke giving you the press conference at around 2:15 to 3:15 yesterday, and the dollar just tanked the whole time and commodities ripped higher. And that just shows you lack of confidence in the Federal Reserve and Ben Bernanke. When people just run from the dollar so quickly as soon as that guy speaks, and people go right into safety commodities, stores of value like silver and gold, there's just no whatsoever trust left in that body, in the Federal Reserve, that they're actually not going to print tons of more dollars. And even though they say QE2 is going to end at, in June, they're just going to find a different way to do it. I mean, that's all it is, folks. QE2 is now unpopular, so they have to find a different way. It's really that simple. All right, guys. In any case, let's go to a couple different stocks. ExxonMobil reported earnings this morning. ExxonMobil yesterday was right into a perfect double top. A little bit of a pullback, as you can see today, down about 95 cents. If we go to your intraday Exxon chart, you can see it's just chopped sideways all day. Chevron, in sympathy, is down as well, although not down that much, is actually making a move up. Chevron has earnings tomorrow morning as well, so we'll be watching that again for tomorrow. Scalping wise, there's been some great trades, folks. ConocoPhillips was a trade today. Goldman Sachs was a trade. There were a few others in the intraday stock chat as well, where people just banked a good chunk of money for a good solid day in the markets, especially for a day where the spiders are only trading 76 million here at a quarter after 2 p.m. Eastern time. And again, we have about an hour 45 left in the trading day, and to trade 76 million, you just know things are dead. And the markets, again, you can see, yes, there's been trading today, absolutely, but the spiders really haven't done much. In fact, I don't think I've scalped the spiders at all today. There was one scalp I called out for our traders in the chat room, which was right here at a pivot double top, for a little bit of a pullback. But overall, it wasn't an amazing trade. There were better trades on stocks like, as I said, ConocoPhillips, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and a few of the other players out there. All right. Now, some interesting moves here on some various other real-tick charts. First off, Apple Computer. This stock I talked about, and I've talked about recently about how it's now a laggard in a market. It used to be a leader. Now it's a laggard, and you're seeing it again. Here the markets are basically flat to positive. NASDAQ's down about 6 points, but look at Apple, down $3.70. Yesterday, Apple Computer ended lower on the day, just by a few pennies, but the market was up. The day before, Apple ended lower on the day. Market rallied over 100 points that day. So again, you're just seeing day after day, Apple just doesn't seem to be right. Something's wrong with Apple right now. And again, I think it's making a long-term top, obviously. Long-term tops take a lot of time, a lot of distribution to go over between retail investors and institutions, but I do believe that's what's going on right now. Any move over 350, 360 is a shorting opportunity in my book. And again, it was at 350 plus early today, but has come back to about 340, 46.50 or so. Another stock that's showing some weakness after a monster day yesterday. There's a little difference here between Apple and Amazon. Amazon here had a huge up day of about $14 to $15, and you're seeing a little consolidation profit taking today. Ultimately, I do think Amazon's probably going to make a move above $200 per share, only because, again, it was such a powerful move on earnings yesterday. You have to think this is just bullish, choppy consolidation before one more move to the upside. Any sort of upside in the markets in the coming days, you should see the stock make a move higher. All right. Also, what the other kind of area I'd like to discuss are Chinese and Indian internet companies. I do think BIDU is making a short-term top in this range here. The reason I'm saying that is if you look closely at the last week of trading, it's a very, very weak showing on BIDU. BIDU is the symbol here on my real tick chart. And you can see here you had the gap up and it sold off. Then you paused, made another move up. The next day it moved up, made a new high, then sold off, closed flat. Then the next day sold off, recovered a fair amount, but still was negative. Now today going down. It looks like this is making a little bit of a top. You're making little newer highs, but you're not able to hold them. So to me, BIDU is probably getting in that range of a pullback. I would be watching for that very soon, and I do believe it is coming. Also, I think stocks like SINA, SINA, which is up a little bit today, this has gone up so dramatically fast, just like BIDU. I mean, look at the chart from 2010 lows, right around 30 bucks or so, all the way up to about 150 here at the highs about a week ago. It does tell me that this stock not only has corrected a little bit already back to 130, about a $18, $17 correction, but I do think it probably has a bounce and then a little bit more downside. Same thing applies on some of the other plays. One stock that's having a big reversal is REDF today, and this is a nice topping tail. In fact, this may be a short signal today to look for a major pullback in the next week or so, possibly all the way back to about $12. It would not shock me to see this pull back to about $12. It hit a high of 18 today, and now you have a topping tail on the intraday chart. We'll see how this chart ends. I mean, maybe it rallies back by the end of the day, but I doubt it. But either way, this is an Indian internet company, basically barely any revenues at this point too, and it's rallied an insane amount. It was going back to early, well, actually the mid, about 2 weeks ago, 1.5, 2 weeks ago on this REDF. It was trading at $7, $8. It's hit a high of 18 today. So, I mean, it just gives you a sense of how extended it is. I do think that's beginning to pull back. SIFI, SIFY is another one. This one's still up today, but look at that dramatic move, especially over the last 2 to 3 weeks. It basically going up 100% just in the last couple weeks. All right, and that one should pull back as well, in my opinion. All right, other than that, let's just take a look at the spiders again, which are just going sideways. the market continues to kind of hover right around the 52-week highs. We made a new 52-week high intraday today. I'll be curious. Remember what I said, guys, and it's already starting here. The volume's dead right now in the afternoon session, and therefore that gives us a little bit of a neutral to upside bias. I would not be shocked to see us pierce the 136 level, which would actually make a new high of the day up here. And again, I would not be surprised based on the light volume. I don't think we're going to go up that much more today than that, but I think we could touch that pivot top or maybe make a new pivot top just over the even number of 136. Again, folks, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Again, look up Gareth Soloway on Twitter. You can follow me as I'm doing trades throughout the day, and we're looking at some various key things, and I'm posting my thoughts and so forth there while I'm in the intraday stock chat. And even at night, if anything goes on, I try to keep you guys abreast on Twitter. You can follow me again. Just look up Gareth Soloway on Twitter. All right, guys, enough said today. Fun day in the intraday stock chat. Good day in the research center. Plenty of trade alerts out there. Remember, 1 week free trial, folks. That's what it's all about. Take the free trial, see what you think, and make some money. Take care.